Dedicated senior medical center services, thousands of Floridians with quality care. Today, Dr. Blount joins us with more on how they can help you. Good morning, doctor. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Well, welcome to Tampa Bay's Morning Blend. We're very excited to have you here because what you can offer your patients really does stand out above the rest. How were you able to do that?
We concentrate on relationships in our practice. Most people view a transaction with a physician just as a transaction. We don't view our medical care as transactions. We view them as relationships. We have to establish relationships with our physicians and our patients. And the way we do that is we hire physicians that know that and want to practice that way. When I came on board with Dedicated, I thought initially that this was going to be the way I always wanted to practice. And indeed, it turned out that way. I practiced in many places where the emphasis was on productivity and how many patients you could see in a day. We don't do that. We practice by relationships, so we have very small panels. Each of our primary care physicians has probably 1/5 the number of patients that most primary care doctors have out there. So if you go to a normal HMO or a health plan, each primary care doctor will have about 2,500 patients that they take care of. Our physicians have 450. So we concentrate on those 450. We want to become part of their family. We want the patients to become part of our family. And we strive to make those 450 patients as healthy as they can be.
I'm so glad that we're talking about this today because I personally have been affected by one of those, try to get out the door quickly as a patient. So if you're trying to change that way, I'm sure you see the results too in the health care that's provided, maybe even the sick days of your patients.
Exactly. And that's one of the things we pride ourselves on. We don't necessarily call it reducing sick days, but that's what we do. What we call it is let's get our patients healthy and give them more healthy days. So if you make them healthier, their sick days are going to be less. So we've shown in some very good studies that we can reduce the number of hospital days by up to 40% over what the rest of the people are doing around the country. So we do get our patients healthy. We try to keep them that way. And we do that from doing good medical practice and from practicing preventive care. We have a large emphasis on prevention.
I was going to say, well, okay, prevention is key. But also, what's some of the feedback that you've received from some of your patients? I'm assuming once patients are with you, they are overjoyed. They
are. If you look around the country where we've been established for a while, there are some very good patient testimonials that they love our physicians, they love our care. They've never been treated like this before. Many of our patients will say, "You're actually listening to me. You actually hear what I say. You actually do what I ask you to do," instead of having a pre-arrived at agenda that the physician has. We do what the patient is asking us, and we listen to them.
Well, we got to go ahead and give your information out because you're located in Lakeland.
That's correct.
And so how can Lakeland people find out more information, or anybody really in the Bay Area? Because I'm sure your services are worth driving.
Yes, I think they are too. It's dedicated.care. You can go get online and look up Dedicated, or there's a phone number on the screen now. Call that number and they'll tell you everything you want to know about us. They'll set you up for a tour of one of our clinics. You don't have to come in right away as a patient. But if you want to do that, they'll get you an appointment as well.
Well, especially with that preventative care, it's almost better to establish the relationship now a little bit, right?
Oh, there's no question about it. The better the relationship between the physician and the patient, the more likely the patient is going to practice prevention. The more likely they are going to quit smoking, change their diet, start exercising, do all those things because of the relationship.
Wow. Good stuff, doctor. Thank you again for your time today. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.